Good morning, Central Florida. JT Muscle here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a super awesome day. And man, I am so glad to be making this video. So the 30-day challenge has concluded, ended a few days ago. And I just wanted to take and make this video kind of recapping my whole experience, like an overview of everything that happened during this transformation. If you saw from the thumbnail of the video, it was a huge success. Ended up going from 181.5 pounds to 167.6, I think it was, pounds. So overall about 14 pounds in 30 days, which is just amazing, like just so incredible. And I got so much to say about this whole experience. So this video might be a little bit, we're gonna cross the street here. It might just be a little bit longer than normal because man, I learned so much. I've kind of been a guy that's dieted and worked out and, dabbled in it my whole life really, but I'm still I learned so much on this. I just got done doing the water cut recap, kind of my experience with that. That was something I'd never done before. I'll link that video down in the comments, so or the description. So if you want to take and watch that video, that should be up in the next. Well, by the time you're watching this, it'll be live. But I just learned so much. So let's recap. So we had 30 days, and this was my initial thoughts. I was 181 pounds, like I mentioned. The goal was to get visible abs. So I didn't want abs just in the morning. I wanted abs that at any point throughout the day, I could take and see them visibly, okay? And I figured I would have to get down to 170 pounds to be able to take and make that happen, which from 181 to 170 pounds, that's 11 pounds, a little over 11 pounds. That right there is a feat. So just to get to 170, I thought was going to be a struggle. Like I said, we got to 167. Here's one thing I did find. Even at 167, it wasn't as visible as I wanted them to be. They were there. Like there was no, if I flexed, you could see them. But I think maybe 165 might be where I need to go, because at 167 let's say 167 and a half, 2.5 more pounds, I think that would be the money shot. Okay. Now here's the other thing. If I hit 165, then that will be 50 pounds overall that I lost, because technically it'd be 51, because the most I ever weighed was 216. And if I was to get to 165, that'd be 51 pounds. But let's just say 50 pounds. Huge milestone, right? So that would be one cool thing. So that's gonna be next goal, 165. All right. But going back to it. So we had 30 days to take and accomplish this goal. We crushed it. How did I attack it? Well, you obviously got to take in diet. You have to work out, and we're going to talk about those, okay? Diet, as you know, I did low carb, and I went pretty strict, especially the first 2 weeks. Then I kind of had a huge setback, right? I made a video on this, and because throughout the process, I want to document the good and the bad. So it all started. What had happened was, we went on vacation, and then I was like, well, let me have a hamburger, which of course came with some fries. And I ended up having that. It was, we're at a hotel and on vacation and stuff, and that was fine. The problem is I didn't stop. And for about 3 days, I just stopped doing low carb. And I ate the hamburger. I had Publix fried chicken. I peeled most of the skin off, but I still had some. And then the dagger was the pint of ice cream that I ate. Now the pint, just so you know, it's not the giant one. It's the one that's like bigger than a can of soda, but it's not the tiny one, but it's not that tub. Okay, so that's a pint. And I ate the whole thing. I was like, let me just, I'm the type of person where if there's something bad, I just want to get rid of it. Like, I'll eat the whole thing versus having like a couple scoops a day. No, let me eat it all, get rid of it, throw it away, and then attack it, right? That's my mentality. What's your mentality? How do you handle stuff like that? Do you just nibble on the ice cream? What do you do? Right? So I ate them. I didn't even realize, this is why I always have to look at the label. 1,300 calories in that, okay? Now, I still lost 14 pounds having this setback, okay? I probably could have hit 165 if I didn't destroy it that whole weekend, because it took me probably about a week to get back to where I started before we left for the hotel. It's a week. So you're talking, when you only have a 4-week challenge, you just lost 25%. That's on me. I can't get mad. I could have weighed 165. I could have lost 15 pounds, but I didn't. All right. So that's one thing, right? So the diet was basically low carb. Most of what I ate was hamburger meat and eggs, ground beef and eggs. That was like probably my number one meal that I had. And then of course I had steak, and followed everything that I talk about in all my videos. Is I'm just going to take and do low carb, and I didn't have any fruits and vegetables. I didn't have any protein shakes. I didn't have any protein bars. I didn't have processed food, other than the, like the splurge meal I was just talking about. I kept everything just meat, eggs. I had some cheese, and maybe a couple times throughout the month, I would have like a handful of like pistachios or some nuts or something like that. And that was it. So diet, I was very, other than that one kind of mishap weekend, overall, the diet was on point. Okay. Training. Let's move on to training. People are like, oh man, he must have been working out like 6 times every day, 6 times a week, whatever. No, really, I didn't. I did my 100 push-ups, which I think was huge, massive. If you could start doing 100 push-ups a day, I did 3,000 push-ups, 100 push-ups for 30 days. And some days I did more than 100, but let's just say I did 3,000 push-ups. That right there you got to do it. Commit to 30 days to do 100 push-ups. I guarantee you will feel so good. I don't do it every day now. So I deal with this nagging injury. I made a video on that too. And so once it goes away, I'm going to start back on the push-ups, because it doesn't take that long, and I really felt great in the morning doing it. So training, did my walks, right? Some days I would go to the gym first and do my workout on a fasted. I always do my whatever in the morning. I always do it fasted. So like I had no food on my stomach right now. Did my workouts. I only work out 4 days a week. It's all I only get 4 days a week. Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. That's it. I followed basically I would do 1 day chest, shoulders, triceps. That would be on Mondays and Thursdays. On Fridays, or Tuesdays and Fridays, I would do back, back, traps, and biceps. So essentially, there goes the whole upper body. And then for legs, I would usually come back 1 day throughout that week, and I'd hit legs in the afternoon. But I honestly only did legs the first 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, I didn't do any legs. And the reason why was because that leg workout, I did this like cardio circuit, which consisted of stair climber, elliptical, row machine. So I did 20, 20, 20. So it was basically an hour of cardio. And I would take and do that along with my walks. And I think my legs were getting you know, a good workout through that, because I didn't want, if you do legs and then the next day try to do that hour cardio circuit, it ain't gonna work. And you have to train based on your goals. My goal was fat loss. You know, I wasn't looking to put on, the goal wasn't to put on 10 pounds of muscle. The goal was to trim down and see abs. So you have to train accordingly. So you have to decide, okay, I'm training for fat loss, so I'm going to take to lose weight. And in that, I might not take and put on as much muscle. That's fine. That wasn't the goal. Okay. So that's kind of how my training was. I did notice that going through the process, that last week, I want to say I looked a little smaller. And I think this is one area where I would change the cardio and maybe not do that circuit training. Because I did that, I think the last week I did it every day. No, about 3-4 days, right? So every day I was at the gym, I think I did it. And it was kind of too high intensity. And I felt like my muscles were smaller, and I don't know if it was the actual muscle getting smaller or if it was the fat leaving the muscle causing it to look smaller. And the way that I know this is on my shirts, I noticed that the arm sleeve was not as tight, right, as it usually is, okay? So when I would put a shirt on, you know, it would like stretch, you know, on the bicep part, and it wasn't like that. And I was working out arms twice a week. I mean, I was going heavy. So if anything, you know, I should have felt even more tighter, but I think what was happening is the water was out of the muscle, and the training, you know, I was losing weight and it was pulling the fat out. And it was causing my muscles to appear a little smaller. They visually looked bigger because I was leaner. That's what happened. So it's hard to explain, but they looked bigger but felt smaller, okay? Wrap your head around that. But if you've done anything like this, you can relate, okay? So that was kind of my training. Then there was the water cut, which I talked about. Was not an overall success at all. I don't know if I did it improperly, but I did not. I only lost about a whole pound. I think doing low carb, like I mentioned, your body flushes the water out naturally anyway. So trying to do a water cut and doing low carb, my body really didn't notice any difference. Like I said, I lost about a pound, and which is very minimal in a water cut. But like I said, I didn't really have a lot of water weight to lose. And I think I would have achieved the same result if I didn't load up on the water. I was drinking up to 2 gallons of water 3 days before the water cut. I think even if I didn't do that and just cut the water off like I did normally, I probably would have lost the same weight without having to try to suffer through getting in 2 gallons of water. Because let me tell you, that is a struggle. Even doing all this extra cardio and everything, drinking 2 gallons of water a day is a struggle, okay? So that kind of hits the training, the diet, the water cut. Let's just end the video with overall. Overall, super, super proud of myself for not only achieving the weight loss, but sticking through it. I know, myself included, a lot of times we say we're going to do something, and to do it for 30 days that's a commitment. Doing 30 days of push-ups, days I was sore, when I had this injury that I'm still kind of dealing with, like, it would take me a lot longer to do the push-ups because I was fighting through an injury. I can only do like maybe 10 to 15 at the time. I probably shouldn't have done them, but I was at like day 28. I'm not giving up. So sticking to it is probably the thing that I'm the most proud about. Okay. Just from everything, the mental, strength that I had to take and achieve during this, to say no to so many bad foods, alcohol. You know, you really had to take in, and I was committed. And so that's probably one of the things that I'm most proud about. Losing 14 pounds is awesome, okay? The most weight I had lost was 40 pounds during my 40 pounds was there. Now we hit the threshold of 45 pounds. Next threshold will be 50. I don't think I can lose much more than that. Nor do I want to. You know, now phase 2, just a sneak peek of what that's going to look like. Now it's about building the muscle. But I still want to try to stay lean too. Stay within striking distance of those abs. But I would say hold on, across the street here. But yes, losing the 14 pounds was amazing. The before and after photos came out great. So going back to the before and after photos, that photo is actually done Saturday night. Sunday morning, Father's Day, the plan was to take it Sunday, Father's Day morning, but with kids and, you know, they were going to be all excited for Father's Day and all that. I can't be like, all right, let me go take in and, you know, take these photos and stuff. This would be too much of a distraction. So the kids were in bed. That was like 9:30 at night. And that's like most people, they look their leanest in the morning, right? But for me, and ideally that's when I would have wanted to take the photos, but I look that lean at 9:30 at night, which is just a bigger accolade, right? Like I look that good at 9:30 at night. So I was super excited about that. And I can't wait to go through phase 2 with you guys, and we'll see. Phase 2 is going to be 4th of July, just sneak peek, right? So that's the next goal is 4th of July. We're going to take in and come in even better. But anyway, thank you guys so much for the support. That's another thing that was huge with this challenge, and why I think I was able to achieve what I did is because I knew I had to be accountable to you guys. And if I ate a pint of ice cream, I had to tell you guys. And it's okay, because the point is to take and keep going. Don't give up. And it's okay if you have a setback, just keep pushing. And that's kind of what I want to take and preach on this channel. I'm not the biggest, fastest, strongest, not Mr. Olympia. You know, I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I'm an everyday guy, just like you. And I'm hoping that my content resonates with you because of that fact. Like, this is just an average guy. You can do everything I've done. Everything that I've said that you can do is attainable by 99% of you. Okay? So, just stick to it. But anyway, this video is getting longer than normal, so I do apologize for that. But thank you guys for all the support. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to see future videos. And just, once again, thank you. Thank you for pushing me to get the best physique I've ever had at the age of 41. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So every one of you that's watched the video, left a comment, said how great I looked on the before and after photos, just understand the motivation came from you guys. Have a great day. Eat your steak.